Hi, everybody. John McElroy here. We're going to talk about Alfa Romeo today. Alfa returned to the U.S. market in 2014. Sergio Marchionne, who was then the CEO of FCA, had high goals for the brand. Sales haven't quite worked out the way that he thought they would go, but recently I'm hearing they're starting to look pretty good. And that's why we're talking today with Bob Broderdorf. He is the Director of Operations for Alfa Romeo in North America. And Bob, thanks for your time today.
We appreciate it, and I'm super happy to be on the show, and we're looking forward to talking with you.
So, as I said, there had been lofty ambitions of bringing Alfa back to the American market. Hasn't quite worked out. You really only have two volume models right now, the Giulia and the Stelvio, and they're beautiful cars. I mean, I've driven them. I love them, especially the Quadrifoglio editions of both cars. But lately, I'm getting reports from out in the field that things are starting to turn around. Yeah, you took over what, about a year ago or something like that?
Yeah, just a little bit over a year and a half ago right now, and I think we've put a lot of things in place. And you mentioned the sales in particular. There's no question that we had lofty ambitions for the brand, and we still do, quite frankly. So I think what you're really experiencing and kind of what you alluded to earlier is the fact if you kind of really look at what happened at the end of Q4 before really some of the COVID implications, we started to build some momentum in the marketplace at the end of the year, launched significant changes to the 2020, and now compared to really the industry performance, Alfa's outpacing that industry performance, and we're starting to see some momentum build in the marketplace around the brand, which is exciting for all of our enthusiasts as well as us.
And that's why I wanted to talk to you. What have you changed since you got there? I mean, you're still dealing with the two same volume models that you have. What are you doing differently now that things are starting to pick up?
Well, I think we got a combination of things I think you'd really see. So some of it, I think, underneath the surface, maybe not things you might see in the ad. Really what it's coming down to is we put a lot of effort into the consumer experience on the showroom floor, as well as working with our dealer partners has been a significant part of our approach that's driven some of the gains. On top of that, a lot of the shortcomings that we talked about with our product, some of the things that you personally have brought up with where we needed to improve, we've made those changes to our product. Things like infotainment, customer touch points, advanced technology, they've all been showcased on really what we can do with the 20 model year. And I think right now we've got the single best product offering we've had since the inception of the brand coming back to the United States. And we're really headed in a positive direction. I think consumers are identifying with that.
When you talk about improving the customer experience in the dealership, what are the issues that you've addressed?
Well, some of the keys. So for instance, we're talking about premium clientele. We're talking about clientele that can really buy just about anything in the industry, and they're very passionate about what they purchase. So when you talk about our dealer partners particularly, we're getting really down to the nuts and bolts as far as the process, the way to take care of a consumer, the amenities that a customer expects on the showroom floor, all of these types of knowledge and insights and process around what the brand of Alfa Romeo truly is and stands for has been important for us to drive home with our dealer partners. And you've seen us expand that significantly. And again, this isn't something where it necessarily warrants a giant press release, but I think from a quality standpoint, a customer experience standpoint, and the overall amenities on our showrooms, we're really delivering a boutique experience that customers are trying to appreciate. And you're seeing that come through in our scores.
Let's talk about quality a little bit more, because out in the blogosphere, people say, oh, it's a beautiful car and everything, but the quality's questionable. What have you addressed there?
Yeah, what really comes down to is the attention to detail and advanced communication. We've created between a dashboard forum of high-level intellectual insights of data that we're tracking on a daily basis, as well as a dedicated forum of completely separating the Alfa experience with inside FCA and a fully dedicated team. So what we're looking at is it's the speed at which we're addressing issues. Quite frankly, I didn't think they were there. And as you mentioned earlier, a lot of the historical past quality from, call it 60s, 70s, whichever era you want to choose, that was an opportunity for us. So for us, proof's in the pudding a little bit, right? And when people come and they experience them and they see the fit and finish and attention to detail, these things have dramatically changed in the last 3 years. And quite frankly, as we grow our volume, I'm really excited to get some of the quality scores out there in the marketplace, which we still you haven't been able to see those because most of the studies are on 3-year studies. So when that data comes available, I think you're going to be fairly impressed with the quality improvements of the brand and really how competitive we truly are.
Usually when brands are in trouble, the first thing they resort to is cutting prices, incentivizing, discounting, and that sort of thing. Have you been doing that as well?
Absolutely not. I can tell you I get asked this question a lot about the sales volume and our expectations. Defending this brand and the premium positioning that it has, we have not made any attempts whatsoever to overly discount. We've got a competitive offering. We're very much, if you look at our pricing, right on the key German 3, and we have not moved off of that positioning really in the last, I'll call it 24 months at all. And part of that for us is defense of the residual, defense of the brand, and really trying to create a premium foundation for this brand as we grow in the future.
I'm glad you brought up residuals because that's the next thing I wanted to ask you about. Are your residuals reflecting the changes that you're making?
Yeah, I think I have insight, which isn't quite out yet, to what the 21 model year residual is going to look like. I think you're going to be incredibly impressed of just how high in as far as best in class type of residuals you're going to see when we launch the 21 model year. And a lot of that is due to the product enhancements and changes that we've recently made. So as you talked about discounting, that's an incredibly important part of the formula for the brand. And you're going to see that the maintaining the value, the increasing the quality and the customer experience is all a part of defending that residual long-term for our consumers.
Bob, you just said something significant there. Best in class residuals?
I think you're going to be impressed when you get the numbers. So we were highly ambitious. I've seen the early numbers, and we've got an incredibly compelling value proposition for our consumers.
Okay, let's talk a little bit more about the future. You're pulling up chin, to where sales are starting to look good, residuals look good. What are the next steps? I mean, obviously, it's increasing the model line. You're not going to grow this brand with just 2 models.
There's no question. I think the brand as a whole, it's an incredibly fun, entertaining brand, incredible driving dynamics. So now we take I'll call it the Alfa Stelvio formula, really the Alfa Romeo DNA, and we're going to apply that to other segments. And the first segment that we've talked about is really that small crossover, and we showcase what we're capable of with the Tonale concept. Our first electric plug-in hybrid, that's the next vehicle on the docket. And we've been very forthcoming about our ambitions to launch that vehicle. We've already shown it at a couple of auto shows and launched it in 2019 in Geneva. So next, as Mr. Manley has alluded to in a number of press conferences, that's going to be the next exciting announcement of what our approach is to that segment. And I think a lot of the inspiration is going to come from the Tonale concept specifically.
Hybrids obviously are in the future for FCA. I mean, Jeep, Ram's already there to an extent. What about full battery electric?
I think for all of us in the industry, there's that fine line between timing and when to actually take advantage of this advanced technology. And obviously for a brand like Alfa, it's something you have to clearly consider. The entire industry is going this way. And there's just that I'll call it that value equation that I know you guys have talked about on your show of the importance of cost in delivering the right value equation to the consumer, as well as actually creating a business plan that makes sense, and then still using electrification to drive what the DNA of the brand is supposed to be from the beginning. And that's really what our approach to electrification is going to be. How do I deliver a Alfa Romeo appropriate electrified strategy is really what the challenge is going to be, not just being electrified because everybody else is electrified.
Where do you see your opportunity with customers? I mean, I'm speaking demographically, and perhaps even geographically. Where do you see your opportunities to grow?
Oh, that's something that we spend a lot of time with. So from I'll call first geographically is a great question. So we've seen significant growth, particularly like I'll use in Miami. And what you're seeing in Miami was a ad association of all the dealer body coming together in Miami. And we've seen the success of our sales grow significantly. So a lot of it for us is engagement, and we're seeing that grow in there. So now we've taken that business model in Miami. We've now expanded it to 12 other markets. New York, you'll see it in DC, Houston, et cetera. So bringing the dealer body together to not worried about competing against themselves, really going after the German 3 and expanding our audience. From a demographic standpoint, I think one of the most impressive things about Alfa is we have truly driven in the customer we set out to. You're talking about a household income that's well over $200,000. This is an incredibly affluent customer and diverse at that. The one opportunity I'd like to see, I think women have more of an opportunity with Alfa. There's something about the seduction and sexy styling that Alfa drives, as well as an empowering experience for females behind the wheel, which I think they've come to appreciate. So that's one area that I would like to see us grow from a demographic standpoint. And then geography for me, it's all about getting it more engagement and continuing to get from my partners, the dealers, more investment into the brand and really driving home that customer experience. Those are 2 crucial items for us as we grow.
Yeah, I like to hear you expand a little bit on your comments about attracting women buyers, because like you said, I mean, the cars are drop dead gorgeous, and styling, of course, can absolutely attract women or men, but let's talk about women in this case too. But at the same time, a performance image is not necessarily what female luxury buyers are after. How do you balance the two?
Yeah. So one thing that I found for female buyers, particularly with a performance brand, is it's not necessarily just 0 to 60, as you mentioned. Certainly the male demographic may be more interested in, I'll call it the metrics or some of the key sound bites. But from an experience standpoint, there is still something, whether you're into performance cars or not, that a performance car empowers the buyer. It empowers you when you get on the freeway. Something as simple as coming off and on an exit ramp of just what a performance sedan is possible to do. And then even like Stelvio, we've seen more and more women migrate there, where you've got not only the performance elements and the design of Alfa Romeo, but you have the creature comforts and the functionality, as well as, talking about all-wheel drive available. It really is a capable peace of mind. And then the new advanced technology, when you've got the creature comforts of level 2 autonomy, where the vehicle is not only capable of incredible performance, but also driving itself on the freeway, is something that I think that female buyers would come to appreciate. And then the advanced safety features that we've added really appeal more to the female demographic. That's part of our messaging that I would really like to drive home, and I think they'll identify with it.
Well, I was about to wrap it up, but you just mentioned something very interesting. Self-driving on the highway. When will we see that?
That just got launched for the 20 model year. And then for 21, you're going to see a value equation that's going to add on to their current performance of really offering some of the most available advanced tech in the entire segment, along with best in class performance, 0 to 60 time and torque. So whether you want the advanced Italian design, top-notch performance, or advanced safety tech and autonomy, Alfa Romeo is going to offer that, which is all what's driven really into the residual performance of the vehicle as all the data comes out here shortly.
Is this level 2 autonomy that you're launching an outcome of FCA's tie-up with Waymo?
I think the Waymo partnership provides a lot of different learnings for us, and it's certainly much bigger than just this one piece of Alpha Tech. I think as a company, we've really inside our entire portfolio, this will be the first introduction inside the FCA portfolio of this advanced tech that's in the marketplace. So it's a combination of not only our advanced learnings that you're seeing from electrification and partnerships like Waymo, but as well as where I think it's appropriate for the brand to go. It's not just, you need to be able to not only be able to drive performance elements for Alpha, but leverage advanced tech to and take care of really autonomy as well, which we're continuing to see growth in the marketplace.
Well, Bob, congratulations on getting the needle pointed in the right direction for Alfa Romeo in the North American market. And again, thanks for your time this morning.
John, we absolutely appreciate it. And we appreciate you guys helping us get the story out. So thank you so much for your time.